Amigos. Today, I'm excited about this one. Today, we are talking about friendship, and we're going to talk about the very dreaded feeling of not being, of your best friend not having you as their best friend. Um, I don't think it's unique. Well, maybe it might be unique, but it does happen where you feel like your best friend you're not on like the top of the call list. You're not on the same ground in terms of friendship. You are maybe second or third, and you feel that they are number one for you. And that is such a unique feeling, but it's also, I feel like it can be common, especially in school settings. But even as you get older, like college age, in your 20s, because I can't talk about 30s because I'm not in my 30s, but I'm sure that happens as well. It's just something that when you were a kid, when you were in elementary, if you had a best friend, that was your best friend. That was your ride or die. That was your everywhere you go, everything you did. You were one mind, you were one person, you were linked. But the older you get, people people find others. People find um, other things and other interests, and that connects them to other people. And we all have kind of like different sub units and groups and people we interact with, and it can feel very what's the word, devaluing. That's, I don't know if that's a word. It can feel very lonely to think that this person means so much to you, but you are not on the same level. And there are different ways that people find this out, unfortunately. um, it can be it can be something you notice, it can be something you see, that they are constantly with a different person that's not you, when they're constantly making plans with a different person that's not you, when they're constantly thinking, talking, texting somebody who's not you. It feels kind of like a relationship. I mean, I truly believe like all friendships are relationships. That's kind of what it is. But um it feels really lonely, and it makes you kind of feel low-key like a loser. Oh, I'm not as important. I can't believe I put you on such a high level, and I'm nowhere near that for you. And you can always tell. You can kind of like play it off and deny it. But I was even worse. I was the type of person who was like, well, at least I'm in their life. Because truly, 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 my stance now is that it is not it is not that important. Let me rephrase. It is not the worst thing for someone to not have you on their priority list the same way that you have them. It really is just about knowing what you're getting from this friendship, what it means to you, and if it's absolutely necessary that the other person feels the same. Because there's this kind of weird thing that I'm dealing with, that is this idea that just because you put all this effort into the friendship, or you put all this effort into birthdays, or you put all this effort in, the other person has to match you, and that's how you know you're loved and seen. That's not true. You can be loved and you can be seen and you can be cared about without someone reaching the same level of um, investing the same level of time and interest that you are. You can still be loved and you can still be important, but that doesn't mean someone's going to hand wrap everything for you like you do, or that they're going to be as thoughtful as you are, or going to be as considerate. And it feels so awful, because both things are true. It can feel awful knowing that this person that you care about so much is never gonna do the same things for you that you do for them. But I think at least in high school, I kind of was like, yeah, no, people aren't going to do things at the same level that I am. People aren't going to care as much as I am, because the type of friend that I am is one that acts like this. But you know what, though? It's super interesting, because when you do finally find a person, you have to think about the opposite. When you do finally find a person who puts in so much effort, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm like, whoa, because then it's like, oh, it's done. The plans are made. The everything's ready, or you've done everything, or acts of service, whatever the heck. Um, it can feel very weird to be the other person when you feel like another person is putting in a lot of effort and you're not doing as much, and it kind of like psychs you out and makes you feel like, oh my god, I'm a terrible person, I need to be doing just as much. But in reality, you're not on that level of friendship with them. That feels weird, to have everything flipped and being like, oh, I'm the person that, there's two ways to go about it. You can either freak out and then suddenly want to put as much effort as they are, just because you feel bad, just because you feel like that's what you have to do, because that's the type of person that you are. Or you ignore it and miss it, and you not take advantage of it, but it's not it's not something for you to fix, which is kind of exactly what I'm trying to say about the other person in the situation, in the friendship, who you've declared your best friend in your head, and maybe they didn't necessarily include you on a trip, or let's say they didn't make you a bridesmaid. Um, the friendship was on a different level to you. But I always think about the fact that they give you all the signs. It's not that they're a bad person. And again, it's not that they hate you or they despise you. It truly is that you are maybe just a work friend, or maybe just a family friend. Like, I think it comes with, it comes with this idea of you can't control what other people think and do about you. You can only control what you do. So if you want to spend all the money and break your back and the bank and your head and give all your time to this person, then you should be able to observe, and you should be able to be objective about who they are and what they mean to you. And if you are going out of your way to do certain things to keep a hold of a friendship, this is a lesson I'm still learning. Keep hold of a friendship that's not viable, that's not for you, and it's not doing much to benefit you. I think it really bears the thought of, I like the person I'm around when I'm with them. This is me like telling you what I look for in friendship. I like who I am when I'm with them. I admire them. Admiring the person that I'm friends with is a big deal for me. I'm like, ooh, I aspire to be more like you. I like the way that you speak to people. I like the way that you treat people. I love how ambitious you are, and I want to be like that too. And there's pros and cons to that as well, but that's a big one for me. I tend to look for people I admire and who have traits that I really look up to. Um, the Is this person kind to me? Does this person listen? Does this person, um, you know, and you should be, again, if you're looking for these things and you find them in people, be willing to do the same. But yeah, not everybody values friendship as much. Some people value romantic relationships more. Some people value family more, and those could be priority over you. And those are things that you just have to learn to accept. But it's also, if you are looking for that go around the world, arm in arm, and like they are your number one person who you say everything to, I think you need to be easier on yourself. I think you need to, have all different kinds of friendships, including the ones that are like more lighter, that are maybe specific to one activity or specific to one area, even. Different kinds of friendships, like older than you, maybe even younger than you, same age. Um, there's a friendship that you have that's super kind, like you guys, it's based in kindness, and you're just constantly giving to one another. Or there's one where it's super deep, where you have like lots of deep conversations, those car ones, those are good. Or you have another one that's more based on activity, and you guys tend to like doing the same things together. When you can find, I mean, it's definitely the jackpot when you can find all of that in one person, especially when, oh, I feel like I've hit the jackpot with some of the friends that I have. Like, all of our, like, so much of our interests align, and we grow and we learn and we become interested in new things together, on top of having those deep conversations, on top of being overly kind. I have my people, and I'm just so grateful for that, because I really do value friendship. But yeah, it's important to like know who this person is and how much the relationship means to you. I need you to be okay. I need you to be okay, even if that person is not, if they don't invite you to this thing, if they don't put you on this list, if you should not expect somebody to give you what you've given them. It's not a requirement. However, you are free to go spend your time, money elsewhere. If that's the case, if it bothers you that you're spending all, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be yelling, oh my god. If it bothers you that you are dedicating all this time, money, energy into another person, and they're not even giving you a fraction back, it's also important to know the people, because some people are just not those type of givers, that's not how they show their love. They show it in different ways. That's something also to consider. Like, people don't do things the exact same way that I do. But anyway, they're not giving that same effort. Yeah, it's important for you to recognize that as soon as you can, and make decisions. Do I want to maybe shift my focus over to my family and give more of that energy to people who have always matched me, because I always love that as well. Like, investing in friendships is such a great idea. I want to make a video just about that, but diving more into the friendships I already have, especially if this is a new friendship, please think that willing to care and do everything with one person is great, and having a full package is great. But I also want you to consider like all the multiple, like, I'm not, this is me tripping over myself, because I don't think quantity is better than quality. That is not what I'm saying, and it sounds like that's what I'm saying. Um, but I all I'm saying is I want you to consider that friendships can be different from person to person, and that it's not all going to be deep and loving and uh you know, be there for you, airport pickup, like moving in type bestie, you know what I mean? uh, Also, y'all need to be a bit pickier, because not everybody should be doing those things for you. Not every single person should be the person you call, you know what I mean? I do think quality is super important. I want to make that so clear. Quality is super important in the type of people that we choose to share our hearts with. That's something. Um, be very picky with your heart, you know? Um, it's all about balance, truly. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't want you to be broken if you're going about high school, or if you're going about life thinking about the fact that your best friend maybe doesn't have you on the same level that you have them. All that means is you need to reevaluate your level. You can keep things as they are if it's truly something that you want to do. If you want to go the extra mile for that friendship, that is completely your free will. Um, but but if this person has already shown you that you are not on the same level, you could make them your maid of honor, and they might only invite you to that, maybe invite you to that wedding reception, or not at all. Like, you need to be okay with that, because you knew these things going along. So I invested all this time, this energy, this money. I did this for you. I did that for you. I helped you. You know what? You cannot hold those things against another person. You can't. You can't. So that's why it's important to reevaluate and to not hold things against people. You should not be angry or upset that this person has shown you who they are from the very beginning. And yeah, I guess there's a whole nother area where someone could be like fake and super and act like they're invested in you. And that is another thing to take note of. But if you're looking for that, I guess, true friendship, that true Disney Channel, like, skipping off into the sunset friendship, you will find it. You can find it. And it doesn't have to be that whole entire magical package, because it is kind of like an idea. It is kind of like this fantasy thing, if you make it that way. If you like, it has to be perfect, because I understand that. That one friendship. A lot of people feel like if they don't have that, they don't have any friends, that they're just walking around and no one truly cares for them. That's extreme. I want you to consider that as extreme, because people care about you. They don't necessarily have to skip into the sunset to like be there for you. They don't have to, be that person who has all those diary secrets with you. It doesn't have to be that. Friendships are unique. Friendships are like their own entity. Like, I can FaceTime one friend and leave it on for hours, and that's something that's important. That's something that exists within our friendship. But I have a completely different friend who I love just as much, but we don't do that. We don't do that. Instead, we go on trips. We do other things. You know what I mean? Like, it's so important to understand, like, for every friendship is different and it's unique. It's like a fingerprint. It's not gonna be your exact vision all the time. But yeah, I think I had to grow out of that. I think I needed to understand, because I did have that. Let me talk about me. I did have that. Like, I had a friend like in middle school who I was like, I would do anything for, and I was like enthralled. I truly believe like kind of enamorada. Like, I was like, this is the coolest person ever. I really like this person. I really want to be friends with this person forever, because we're gonna be that, best friend duo. But then, high school happened, and although we were each doing our own things, it still mattered so much to me what this person thought, and that they knew how much I cared about them, that I would go all out for so many different things in their life, when they would maybe give me like a fraction of that. it I don't want to say it hurt me, but it was something I clocked. It's something I noticed, and I was like, huh, there is, I feel like what I was trying to do was buy or kind of maintain a friendship when I needed to kind of like chill. Because I did that often, not just with them, but I did that with people who I felt like I would lose. And I don't know why I felt that way when I could just be myself. When I was always an important person to them, when I always held a special place. Does that make sense? I'm not saying let yourself be, trashed, but and taken advantage of and this, that, and the third, because those are things you can notice as well. But that was not it. I was not being kicked to the curb. I was not, being. I remember the day they told me who their best friend was, and I was just like, that's so cool. Oh, I like them, and then my mission was be best friends with them so that you can like be a part of the circle. Like, it's so stupid, and it's really just me thinking about the fact that whatever place I held in their heart or in their mind was unique, because I'm unique. I'm a whole individual. And whatever time they decided to spend with me, whatever they decided to do on their own accord for in terms of our friendship, was something on their own, was something that they had to want to do. And they would do it, like they would show up and do things for me as well. And I really had to stop using a measuring stick to see who the better friend was. And it wasn't that I was upset with them or mad, it was truly just me feeling like I'm on the chopping block here. And it was really just so much more peaceful to keep that place and just know, hey, I'm still a part of this person's life. We are not linked at the hip like I would think Disney Channel friendships go, but we matter to each other and we care. So that had to be enough for me, because I admire this person and I really, really like this person. They mean something to me, and that was enough. That was enough. And not that you should be accepting bare minimum. I always like to give like the disclaimers. Not that you should be accepting bare minimum, not that you should be thinking of yourself less. That just gave me time to invest in other friendships and also invest in myself, in my career. And as a high schooler, I thought about the fact that, hey, I'm in a school full of people my age, I should probably find other friendships. And I did. And I found other activities that I enjoyed, and it was really nice to just understand that as soon as I could. And I still struggle with that to this day, of like this idea that I should be doing more and more and more for my friendships, because I feel like if I don't, I'm going to lose them. Because I don't want to like kind of like go off into obscurity. But I also understand that whatever place I hold in people's hearts is, and if I ever made them feel good even just once, then that's true. Then that will always, always, always be true, and that can never be changed. I will always have either made them laugh or smile or made them feel good at one point, and that always remains true, and that cannot be changed. And I think about how beautiful they are, and I think about how great social media is that I can keep track of them and kind of just keep encouraging from afar. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be the type of friendship where you skip off. It doesn't. And that's okay. And I'm glad to have the unique friendships I have, the different kinds, and I love it. I'm happy, but I'm blessed because I have an amazing family as well. And it's always good to keep note and to always be grateful of what you do have, because you get so caught up in what you don't. You're like, I don't have this, I don't have the friendship, the $1 million friendship that's supposed to be perfect and everlasting, and we get married and pregnant at the same time. That's I do think that's weird, but each friendship is different and unique. I also am a fan of like treating each other kindly, because there are definitely some friendships where people are just mean to each other all the time, and that's the friendship. But I'm not a fan of that, but that does exist. I'm sure you know. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. It's okay. It's okay if you're not your best friend's best friend. Okay? It's alright. Because you hold weight and you hold a special place. And that can't be changed. It can't. When that person tells stories or sees a picture about you in 10 years, that feeling that you made them feel good bubbles up. And that is something nobody can take away. Does that make sense? So that gives me comfort thinking stuff like that. Yeah. Because I always want to be like the specialist person. That doesn't have to be true all the time. But I'm just glad that, you know, whatever friendships I do make now and in the future, I can remind myself that as long as I'm being myself, oh, that sounds so cheesy. As long as I'm making them, as long as I'm doing me and I'm being who I am, kind and respectful and, good, then there's really not much else. Because the right people do click. They really do. And they go hand in hand. So, yeah. Also, just like I've said this before, be open. Try new things. Because you never know who you'll connect with on new things that you try. So, that's it. So, it'll be okay. Don't